And now we come to the other list. While 2015 had a lot of great films, it also had its fair share of stinkers. For clarity's sake, I avoid films I figure are going to be bad, hence why this is disappointing films and not worst films. So, whether they be flawed, lacking, or sometimes straight up bad, here were the 5 films of 2015 that had me excited until I got to see them. This movie had me all excited for a number of reasons. It looked to be a redemption attempt by Will Smith, had Margot Robbie fresh out of Wolf of Wall Street, and seemed to be dealing with the elusive art of high-stakes con games. And for something like 20 minutes, it was just that, a pretty awesome montage of some romance, some Bob Arno-inspired pilfering, and an absolutely bonkers scene involving a delightfully sleazy B.D. Wong and some silly football bets. But right after this, the movie takes a 270-degree nosedive straight into the ground. Slowed down more than a 10-year-old PC and with basically none of the energy of the first act, Focus did the worst job a disappointing movie could do. It let its own expectations down. Now, let me phrase something right off the bat. Age of Ultron is a good movie, and I enjoyed watching it. So why is this turning up as a disappointing movie? Well, precisely because it happened to be so. Ultron was promising an escalation of the Avengers movies, but in the end, it feels like a wasted effort with just marginally more pretty action scenes. The plot is next to mush with conveniences left, right, and center. Ultron is pretty much a wasted villain. A potential character arc for Black Widow was revealed to be basically the lamest thing they could do with her, and aside from maybe 1 or 2 scenes, the entire movie feels like a giant 2-hour filler episode bridging the gap for Civil War and Avengers 3. Marvel's Phase 2 set some pretty high expectations with Iron Man 3, Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy, but of all the movies that had to be the downer, I'm still surprised it wasn't Ant-Man, which was miles better than this. I still feel conflicted about saying really anything about Jupiter Ascending because, and I stand by this, the movie presented to us doesn't feel anything like what the Wachowskis would do. Yeah, go rag on the Matrix sequels all you want, but Speed Racer and Cloud Atlas are still genuinely amazing films, filled with the fantastic direction and creative vision that Jupiter Ascending felt so constrained with. Possibly it was cut to be more of an action movie. But, until I get an answer in the form of a director's cut, I'm left with what we have here, and Jupiter Ascending was pretty disappointing in that regard. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe the Wachowskis are just better at adaptation than writing and directing original work. Who knows? Holy cow, this movie was a mess. Where do I even begin? There's been a lot of talk over the years of Brad Bird's movies boiling down to objectivist fantasies in the end, most of which he's denied, but nowhere is that more apparent than Tomorrowland's blatant fetishization of special smart people as literally the saviors of humanity as we know it. Not helping is the blenderized sea cucumber of a plot that manages to be super mean-spirited and completely full of itself. And to top it all off, the movie looks about as appealing as a late 2000s first-person shooter, with completely bland imagery and a completely boring progression. I still love you, Brad Bird, but whatever you had to get out of your system by making Tomorrowland, I hope you got all of it out. And here we are, the big tamale of epic letdowns. Spectre was easily the film I was most anticipated for, and to the same degree was massively let down. The Craig-era films have always had an awkward identity crisis. Casino Royale reinvented itself as a dark and gritty actioner a la Batman Begins, and was pretty awesome. Then Quantum of Solace kinda didn't know what the hell it was, writer's strike not helping, and basically settled on being contrived convenience the movie. Then Skyfall came around and basically redid The Dark Knight but with Bond, and it was kinda awesome. But now the whole tower has crashed with Spectre, which is trying to be both Star Trek Into Darkness and The Avengers. To that end, the entire plot needlessly, painfully, and with fucking zero explanation of how so, connects literally fucking everything that has happened from Royale to now, to bad guy Christoph Waltz, who seems only in this movie to take away Benedict Cumberbatch's award for most obvious character reveal ever. Speaking of which, Waltz alongside Monica Bellucci and Dave Bautista, who seems to be the only person in this production to give a fuck, are all completely, unforgivably wasted with either lacking screen time, a lack of purpose to exist, or both. The action scenes, which could have been a saving grace, are even less inspired, with just the okay-ish intro in Mexico limply standing out. And it isn't just the lack of Roger Deakins impacting them, they're just action for the sake of action. Without a doubt, I name Spectre as not just my most disappointing movie of the year, but worst movie in the year. What a dang letdown. Daniel Craig really deserved better than this. And there's my 5 disappointments of 2015. Here's hoping 2016 won't let me down anywhere near as hard, though I'm not going to hold my breath that much. This has been Model Omega, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll hope to see you again later.